Hello and welcome to, or welcome back to, the channel of the Nasdaq scalping bot. In this channel, I show you guys how the bot is doing, and the meaning of the bot is to make some passive income by automated trading on the Nasdaq. And in a daily report, I show you guys what the bot did and what I changed in the code and how we did on the market. And this is the daily report of Friday, so it's also the entire week report. Let's see what did happen today. And let's start with the code, the changes in the code. And I did make some changes in the code today. I know last week, the entire week, I did some small changes, but today I did make some more changes, and I'm gonna explain to you what I did and why I did it and why I turned it back and reversed myself in the coding to do this. So let's grab the code, and if we look at the code, MainPy didn't change anything. In the contracts, this is the first change I made in the code today. And this is something that's called, and we know that's the old part of the new coding style, is to get some stop distance instead of, so not stop distance, this is trailing stop loss. For a certain distance, we had a trailing stop loss instead of just a stop loss at a certain point. And with a trailing stop loss, you get that the distance between your profit and your stop loss moves along with your profit until it goes reverse, and then the stop loss is triggered. And then you don't need to monitor all the time if you have close enough to your profit, or if you're not at home like me today, or this evening I wasn't at home, then you don't find yourself surprised when you have a stop loss and a take profit, and then in reverse after take profit, then there will be a stop loss and you didn't make any profit at all. That's not good. So I implemented a trailing stop loss to do this. And what I noticed in my own personal account was that I was testing also the trailing stop loss and to do what it should be done. And I saw in my trailing stop loss, my own personal, I saw that if I have a sell, then the stop loss in this case will be triggered if the position goes up for 20 points. And if I have a buy, it goes to a stop loss if the position loses 20 points, minus 20 points. So I noticed that for my own personal account, this is what the broker does when I opened a position myself with a trailing stop loss. But I didn't know how the API would react. If we look at the API, and we're looking at how the trading positions are opened, create a position, and we're looking at how a position is created, we see a stop distance trailing stop. Trailing stop is a Boolean, as in true or false, but in the stop amount it says, and the stop distance is what we're talking about, required if the trailing stop is true, then we need a number, but it doesn't specify if it has to be a positive or a negative number. You can assume, we are programmers, we don't assume anything, but we could assume that this is always a positive number, but in my experiences in my private account, and let's go back to, I implemented in my in the code and stop distance for a buy for -20. So when we're going down again, then -20 trigger the stop loss. Or if we have a sell and we rise again 20 points, then trigger the stop loss. So I put this in and I put in a stop distance, of course, like it should be. And I got an error. And I was, what? The bot reacts? What? An error? Oh, what's happening? So yeah, I got an error. The error was that the API could not handle these numbers like this should be. So I killed the bot again, and I put it back in the order like we did. Let's do this again. And I put in a stop distance of 40 points to test. And now at the end of the day, I noticed that 40 points, not that good to do. So I will change this back up to, I guess, 20 points for stop distance. But it was just for testing. And the stop distance of 40, it's not that great to do. But we will see this later on the video when we talk about the reports of today, because we actually have a report today. The bot reacted. I'm excited. The bot did it. Yeah, okay, the bot did it. Well, something else, because another change I did in the code today is the buy MACD and the flow MACD line. I turned those two around. You notice yesterday, no, the day before, I switched those back because there was no reaction from the bot, even if there was a market. But there was something else in front of this and there was, ChatGPT put it in there, if the flow signal line was larger than 9 or something, 9 values. Yeah, so I throw that one out and I printed a true and a false to see if there was an action, truly an action, when it should be. Because this afternoon, at the first point that there was a normal market and I saw a huge drop in the market and the bot did not pick it up. And I had something, yeah, it's my problem. I get impatient because I want to know what's going on. It's a drop. It's a good drop. This should the bot pick up. So I killed the bot at that point for the first time and looked at this, and I brought this back and I implemented also some prints so I could see that the MACD is actually being used and as an indicator to make a buy or a sell. So I implemented those prints. You see the prints right here, and when you look down here, besides market closed, you also see that the MACD was really used today. So I did make some changes to the code, and now when this weekend I'm gonna remove those printouts again because I know what I needed to know. Did I change anything more in the code? No. So this is I'm gonna change. I changed back like it should be. The MACD smaller than the signal line on a buy and the MACD larger than the signal line on the sell. So I changed this one back again with the plus and the minus. So that is good. And I changed in the stop loss, the trailing stop loss, again, stop distance back to 40, and I think it's gonna be 20 or something. because I wasn't at home, but I saw when I was with my friends on my phone, one after the other announcement on my phone that there was a stop loss triggered with a loss. And I just got home from my friends, so I don't know how many positions are opened and how much profit or losses we did, although the bot will tell me that, of course. And so I want to see how we did in the market and in the trades we did today. So let's switch to the bot. And if we look at the bot, we see the final thing we did was a buy. It's green. But if I look, we had a total profit since start of minus almost 60 euros. So not good, but at least the bot reacted. And that's was what I was waiting for, because I didn't see any reaction when the bot should have reacted. And now I see that the bot reacts. Good, perfect. I'm glad. Now let's see if we can make it a better one again with some fine tuning and make it a profitable one. So the bot says we had a minus of almost 60 euros. Now let's take a look at the market. And if we take a look at the market, and I'm going to put a full screen, then we see we had a lot of action today. And if I go back, this was the first drop pre-market, and it was a huge, you can see it's a huge drop in 5 minutes. It went down like hell, like an elevator, we say. Yeah, it goes down by elevator and up by a stair. It went down and the bot didn't pick it up. Why? You should, yeah. But yeah, it happened. So I killed the bot at that point and resetted it again. But we see we had a large down and then another one large down and then one's up. Again, we're down and then we had some up again. And then at the end, a lot of ups and downs. And when we look at this and we see those many ups and downs, we know that the bot doesn't handle this well, especially when we see such a wicks like this, long up and down and small candles itself. It's not good for the bot. So I fear the worst for us, and we know we have a $60, 60 euro loss. But this is an active market, and the bot did react. So yeah, I think, like I said this week, that the bot is ready. I don't need to change anything, although fine-tuning it again with things, but I think we did good work for the bot, and now we can see with some fine-tuning if the bot can stay profitable when we want to be. And we also find out this week that making a daily profit, as one of the targets from the bot is making a daily profit. That won't happen, I know, because we saw this week there will be days, several days this week, that the market is so slow that there won't be any action at all. And that's what I have to calculate in as making a daily profit. That target will be deleted from the target, from the goals for this bot. And I think we need to look at, can we make a profit once a week, a weekly profit instead of a daily profit, because it won't work. So let's take a look at the reports. I don't know how many, because I wasn't at home. So I want to know how, doesn't look that bad. We had one at, let's take a closer look. We had one at 6:30. and losses of 19 euro, and then a position closed at 17 euro positive. 12, 17, 18, 25 was a nice one, and then 8, 6, and 17. So yeah, those were more negative than positive. That's not a good sign, but I expected while I was visiting my friends that there were many more positions opened and closed during the last couple of hours, because we're talking about from 7 to 11. It's 9:45 here. So in 4 hours time, it only opened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 positions. Yeah, it's good. For 4 hours, 8 positions when we have 23 hours. So yeah, and I hope that for next week, that with the changing in the trailing loss, in the trailing stop loss, I have to say, that the stop losses will be triggered earlier than -17 and -12. And so that's what I'm going to change in the code this weekend. And I also, if we look at from 7, that's from here, to 11, that's here. Yeah, that's exactly the time that the bot has his worst, because these, and we know that it's for the guys who are following my channel now for a couple of weeks, we know, and I know, that these blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, red, blue, 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 red, red, blue, he can't handle this. This is always good for a negative. And maybe that's something we need to change in the code too, as in maybe we should, and let's get back to the code. The code, yes, not only the trailing stop distance, but that's the fine-tuning of the strategy. Now we got to try to find out if to prevent those smaller actions, even when the market is normal, because if we don't, and we put it in on the moment, like, where are we? Highly volatile. If I'm going to change the ATR values, then we have the chance that the bot doesn't open a position at all. There will be no contracts, because the market is not good enough even when it should open a position. So I think that I'm gonna re-enter, and I didn't delete those just for in case I'm gonna print this one out again for next week and see if the market is, like today, a bit active, because we working with an active market. I can only test and changes and adjust code when there is an active market. And if there isn't an active market, then like this week, I gotta tell you guys, welcome to the channel. This was it today, and have fun. Then there's nothing to report. So when we have an active market, we're gonna print out these guys again, and then maybe I'm gonna change also to test that, not the total change. I didn't see the total change at all today. There was some trade. Maybe I'm gonna activate those again. But for the MACD and for the total change, I guess that I'm gonna change the flow signal line minus or plus into 1, and that there is a 1 extra difference between the signal line and the MACD line, and not a half, and even 2, to prevent that this happens. Yeah, but that's, again, testing, Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Are we here? Are we here? Yeah, it's testing, and testing again. And we can only test with an active market. So let's hope for next week that we have an active market like we had today. And that was it for today. And this was a normal report with a reasonable time. We're talking about almost 20 minutes. So we're back to the normal length of the video. And even with editing, will be a nice one again and not the short ones I had this week. So if you like the video, press like. If you want to see more about the progress with the bot, then subscribe would be a good idea. Then you'll have a daily report in your mailbox that there is a new video. If you want to see how the bot functions, then you need the link to the Twitch. I did broadcast today on Twitch because the bot was active, so everybody could see the bot in live action. And if you want to talk to me about the bot or about the code or about the market, there is a Discord server. Join the Discord server and you can ask me questions or about the market or anything you feel like. Then you need this Discord server. And if you want to support me and you want to say, okay, you're doing good work and you want to support me in my endeavor to get this done, then there is a Patreon account also available for you to put in your support for me. And then all I have to say for today is have a little fun every day. See you guys next week. Have a nice weekend.